trouble with loving.
Everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to do not like a tag, but this is just kind of like a thing that I wanted to do. Where is it? Oh, I don't know if it's a tag, but it's more of like reasons as to why I don't buy books anymore. So I do buy books occasionally, and when I do, I mostly buy books that I don't really care, like I'm not super excited about. Like if it's a book from like one of my favorite authors, I will definitely buy it brand new because like I trust them. But most books I don't buy brand new. I buy them mostly at either really cheap bookstores or at library bookstores. Believe it or not, libraries, there are some libraries that actually do sell used books. A lot of books. I work in a library and you will not believe how many discards. It's called a discard when they circulate old books that just aren't circulating anymore, or they're lightly damaged when in reality they're not that damaged. And they just discard them. They take them out of the collection and they try to sell them as best they can, but they also can use this service where this company basically recycles the books and they get a profit out of it, which I think is good. But at the same time too, I feel like some people, you know, can deserve those books as well, you know what I mean? And like my library is trying to do that for like people who can't afford books. We have like this thing called Yours to Keep kind of collection to kind of like give people free books when they can't afford to either buy books or they're not able to actually come to the library because they can't get there, which I think is really nice. But personally, I don't buy books unless it's at like a book sale or at a really cheap store, because there are so many books that come out so often, and like I trust particular authors and I will spend like a hard-earned penny because they're expensive. Okay, I think the most I've paid for a book is like $35 to like maybe $50, because yeah, they're very expensive if you want like a new book, especially like collection books, like the Barnes Noble type of collection books. Those things are really pricey. And the other reason why I don't buy them is because ergo I work in a library. If you are able to go to a library, you don't have to buy books. And if you want to start like a booktube or a book talk, you don't have to buy brand new books. I understand why some people buy books, because most library books and most discard books, like if you're buying it from like a library, most of them have this like I think I've shown it before, and it's like this, if it's a hardcover, it has like a thing, it's called like a filament. Pretty much it's like a filament thing. It's a plastic filament wrap, and they put this thing called book tape, and it is so freaking strong. And I used to have to do that in my internship, and it's really hard to put it on there and it will never come off. Okay, that stuff is never gonna come off. You can cut the plastic if you wanted to, but that tape is not gonna come off. I'm gonna guarantee you that. Okay, and I get that shiny reflective plastic that's around the book, most YouTubers or book talkers or whatever wouldn't want the plastic to reflect, you know, the screen like glasses and whatever. But I mean, if you're reviewing stuff or if you're like new to this kind of stuff, you can just rent books from a library. Believe it or not, I feel like a lot of people don't know this either. At least in Illinois, and where I live is in Illinois, a lot of libraries are going fines free, where you don't even have, like, you could keep the book for a very long time unless you lose it or it's like been months or you damaged it. Then yeah, you'll have to pay for it or your account will be delinquent. But there are a lot of libraries I know, especially up north in Illinois, they have gone fines free, which is really nice. Sadly, the library that I work at doesn't do fines free, but the department that I'm in has fines free, which is kind of weird. I don't understand why the main library isn't fines free, but because I work in this particular department, I can actually like get books for free. I can rent them for free. I can have them out for as long as I want. You know, things like that. And so if you're able to, you can just rent them from the library. That's a huge reason as to why I don't buy books. One of my best friends, she doesn't really buy that many books because to her, if she's read it once, she's probably not going to read it again. So she's like, why would I buy it than if I already read it? And I don't have the mentality because I do reread the same books over and over again. And also I like to have the physical copy in my hand, but I've stopped buying books in particular because I don't have a lot of space for it. I feel like I impulse buy a lot and I don't read a lot of the books that I have, so that's why I try not to buy books anymore unless they're like dirt freaking cheap, like I bought from book sales and stuff like that. But I really try not to buy that much because I have too many already and I'm already thinking about getting rid of some, and I would like to make that money back a little bit because some of them are really expensive. But it's mostly because of price. Like that's a huge reason. There's price, and then you could get the stuff for free if you wanted to, if you really didn't even want to keep the books. And sometimes I recommend doing that, especially if it's like a new author that you've never read any books from them and you don't trust them, and the book might not even be good, and then you're like, well, now I'm stuck with this and now I'm gonna either have to sell it or donate it or whatever, you know. And yeah, that's my 2 cents on book buying. I try really hard not to do it that much anymore unless it's like, literally, I'm a sucker for Cassandra Clare's books, so I buy them every single time they come out, every single year. So I'm a sucker for that. So I'm always gonna buy those. But I'm trying really hard not to buy books anymore just because I don't have the space for it. But I used to do it all the time in my old library because they would have a book sale every single year, and I was every single couple of months, and like it was so tempting because you could get a whole big giant grocery bag, like an Aldi's grocery bag for $5 and fill it all up. And I got like maybe 10, 15 kinds of books. They were all probably a couple of cents for $5. My current library, we don't do book sales. We just have a bookstore within the library, but it's mostly a lot of adult fiction and cookbooks or like board books for kids. And it's just stuff that I'm really not that interested in. And it's annoying, which my whole department kind of agrees on, that they don't really push like young adult books or like teenagers or video games that we discard, and that stuff sells. So it's kind of interesting that they are only curating to like the older demographic or the really, really young demographic. And it's like, I'm pretty sure like the middle demographic, that's something that I've always noticed in most libraries, is that they never cater towards like middle school to high school to like young adult to like in their mid-30s. Like there isn't really a demographic, like they don't really cater to any of those demographics unless you're like in a like high school library or a college library. It's like most public libraries just cater towards older individuals or really, really young individuals, and it's really weird. And I understand like communities and things like that, but I feel like even though you're in an elderly community or you're in a parent community, you probably still have other types of people in that community. Like I'm pretty sure these parents have teenagers or these grandparents have young grandkids or young teenage grandkids. You know what I mean? Like it's not just prima donna. Like yes, it's a particular demographic, but I feel like you should cater to everyone because you are a library. You need to like bring in more people, and I feel like that's just an issue in libraries all around. Like all of them always have like one area where they really need to work on, and they just, I don't know. But that's not my place to say anything, so that's just my little 2 cents. But yeah, that's the reason why I don't really buy books that much anymore, because they're expensive. I don't have any space for them. If you've seen my like bookshelf cleaning video, since I've recently moved, I really don't have any space for them anymore. And hopefully if I can try to get rid of some of them, I will be able to get more, which would be really, really nice. But yeah, that's pretty much why I don't really buy them all that often anymore. And I mean, you can rent them for free at the library. And if you don't want a physical copy, you can also rent audiobooks for free, which a lot of people don't know that, surprisingly. Like tons of people push Audible, but like literally you can rent stuff for free from the library, audiobooks in multiple forms. Like you can do it through MP3s, you can do it through DVDs, you can do it through an app called Libby, you can do it through another app called Hoopla, and like another app called OneDrive. Like there are tons of ways you can do this stuff for free. And I feel like a lot of people don't know this kind of stuff. Like libraries have been trying to evolve, but I feel like a lot of them are just really bad at marketing this stuff to communities. And I don't know how to be better about that, because I would like to share people that like you can literally make 3D prints in a library. Like you can do a lot of crazy things in a library now that I didn't even know you could do. But I feel like a lot of this information isn't getting out to the public for some weird reason, and some people are like, oh my god, like I've never heard of these things, like are you sure that's a library? And it's like, I get that the library is meant for books, but in the day and age that we live in, they have to evolve, otherwise, you know, I would be out of a job. But I mean, we'll see if I decide to continue doing library work. Like I said, I've been contemplating for a really long time to go back to college, because I kind of feel like I should have did something else, like another kind of major, and I just keep contemplating it, and I'm not sure if like I want to continue working in libraries. Like I enjoy it, don't get me wrong, it's just that I don't feel like I have the passion for it like I once did, and I feel like I kind of just fell into it, and I'm kind of just like, I would like to do something else with my time. I don't know. But I really do appreciate the resources that it provides, because it does feel very like home and community-esque, at least from like my upbringing. And I met a lot of great people through libraries and things like that. So yeah. But yeah, if you guys liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I also post on TikTok and Instagram of my art videos. Sorry, my nose is itchy. Of art videos, and I occasionally do that here on YouTube, but not all the time. I mostly do it on Instagram and TikTok, so I'll leave those links down below. They're both Savvy Garcia, but one has a dash and the other one doesn't. But yeah, that's the end of the video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun filming it, and I will see all you guys in the next video. Bye!